Okay, so void keys are typically very unprofitable, which is why people don't want to run MV because they'll lose profit most of the time, like a statistical average, unless if you're just running an account. So what if we had 5? So don't worry, I'm not going to say that they're all min-max. They're all pretty low investment. All you need is a defense soul tree on each alt. So here is the gears on the Hexer. See, as you can see, it's very not min-maxed. There is no shards on the staff. These are the gears. The Dragons of Mars is extremely important right now for physical nukes. So you run that. You run several Evertist on all your alts to get more drop rates, by the way, because you don't really need that many min-max gears. And the Hexers, I run Hexer because it's very flexible and makes it runs very easy, and you don't really need to think too much because you can just like Abyss Anchor MV and then he won't be a threat. And you can delay Oblivion severely, like a lot. And then here's my main account. This is about my old video, the Berserker nuke. You already know this, so I'm not going to explain this one. Here we have a Sunsword Inferno BD. It's very low investment. There's no shards on the thing. Here are the gears. I decided to not put 7 Leaf on it because I wanted to make sure that in case things went wrong, it could be somewhat reliable. It has some offense soul tree and some defense soul tree, but overall it's not too invested. It's pretty mid, honestly. Here's my other Hexer. It's built the exact same way as the first Hexer, so I'm not going to explain this. I guess the races on your things don't really matter because you will be drinking 3 energy potions on every account before you start to do your setup, so it doesn't really matter. Here's a Saint. This one's probably the only one where you should probably consider getting like an actual good race like Damnos or Shia. Damnos is just better because of the pure stats, but yeah, and here's what this Damnos is running. It's pretty mid right now. I do want Dragon's Memoir on it because you'll see Monday if the change goes through why I put Dragon's Memoir in this. It's good support, and the Sun Spear obviously. But the Sun Sword is to reduce the boss's defense for my setups. If you don't want to run my one-shot setup, I guess I'll give you some ideas for comps. So like instead of this Berserker main, you can use like a Brawler main and slowly chip away at its health while the Hexers stall the fuck out of it. Do note that if you don't run a new comp, you will have to get mastery and like high amounts of covenant on these alts in order to make up the differential. So like you'll need like this alt. It doesn't even have Holy Light. Like none of my alts are like progressing the covenant very much. They're all extreme low investment. But if you were to not nuke it, you'll need high investment alts in order to make up the differential. Like I said. And if they fix the energy potion glitch, I have 2 Nisei Hexers, so I can set up equally as fast. It'll only be delayed by like 1 turn for the entire strat, but I'll still be able to one-shot. And if 1 DPS isn't enough, you can try a comp where you replace the BD with another nuke DPS and try to set up 5,000 damage on 2 nuke DPS. That can also work. And also, when you want to set up, you want to make sure that your non-crits, no matter how bad the RNG, you will always be able to one-shot it with the thing. And then the Hexers run Absolute Radiance on their alt and Blizzard, for stacking purposes. And I guess I'll show the footage of the alt farming MVs now that I explain my... Alright, so I also did this like 4 or 5 times. That's all. I only had like 4 void keys, so I alt farmed this thing like 4 times just to do a test run of my nuke comp, and it's a guaranteed win rate even if you mess up some things. Like if you use Absolute Radiance, you'll still one-shot it. The only way you won't one-shot it is if you miss the burn on him. If you like fail Flowing Dance, then you'll do 9.5k, and then you can kill him the next turn after once he goes to phase 2, which is not really a big deal, honestly. So yeah, there is a huge margin of error you can make and still be able to one-shot him. Let's see. Oh yeah, you could. I think that everyone knows that something's going to happen to Berserker tomorrow, but you can just bypass that by using 2 Berserkers instead of BD and Berserker. And then you'll still be able to quote unquote one-shot it. Oh, more like 2 shot. Who cares? And then for the strat I'm using, I guess I can say what I did in my next video. It's quite a mouthful to explain what's happening, but if I were to explain how to set up in like 1 word, it's finding everything that can lower the boss's defense and increase your attack power and managing to fit every duration in like 5 turns. Or 6 turns or 4 turns. Personally, I prefer to set up in like 5 turns because it's more flexible and not as stressful as like a 4 turn nuke. And 5 turn, you can like It's more consistent because the 4 turns sometimes require some RNG in order to one-shot MV, but this will require no RNG. Let's see. I'm trying to give advice in case like generally, so in case like they nerf this specific comp, because like in order the process of treating the comps is like the similar process, so it won't really matter if they nerf a comp or anything. I'll still be able to make new comps as long as you know like the core rationales and all. And also, don't worry, you do not need to stack Blizzard in order to one-shot MV or get enough damage to one-shot MV. You just need a single Blizzard, but the second Blizzard is for insurance in case I fuck anything up. As you notice, I do not run any accounts of Sundered for nuke comps. You don't want Sundered for nuke comps because it'll get rid of the field effects, which means you'll lose a lot of defense downs on the boss. Next, you should probably be aware of the fact that you need... Yeah, that if you have low investments like me, it'll be a lot riskier, and you'll probably have to heal your DPS more often with the Saint. If you have like for Hexers, you should probably get Holy Light before you start this. If you're a new player especially, I recommend you getting a bit more invested on all the ults before you start doing this. I can only pull it off because I'm good. I'm just too good at the game, so I don't really need all that preparation. But if you're new, you should probably practice by like getting some mastery, at least probably like 1 super node, and then like actual like shards and weapon, and then like maybe an actual staff, like the Blightwood staff or something like that. And when you're doing MV for the first time, you should probably expect to lose because it takes a little bit to get the hang of it. Personally, I already know how to alt farm from games like Hexaria, and if you see my Voxelblade videos, I alt farm Tundra Dungeon on like the hardest modifiers with 10 alts, and I still won because I'm just too good at the game. This game, it's way easier compared to those. So if you like really cannot alt farm in this game, I recommend maybe giving Hexaria a try. That's the superior turn-based game in terms of difficulty and like mechanics. This game is basically inferior to that game in every respect, but for some reason this game has more players, so of course I'm going to camp this game and milk it for views. So yeah, if you have a really hard time finding out how to like alt box properly, play Hexaria, you'll get used to it really quickly, and then when you come back to this game, it'll be like a piece of cake. Basically, like you get 25 seconds on each alt in order to do your action, which is enough time to find like any move you want to do, honestly. I guess the only hassle you would find while nuking is like you have like choice paralysis because you have to manage 5 ults at once, and also you have to manage like blocking and dodging on 5 ults, which can be a huge challenge. Like I just started today, and I'm not going to lie, I was a little rusty. I wasn't that good at like dodging and blocking all the alts. Especially Deathbound, because the dodge window is not very generous. But I also made some videos of alt farming MV in the old AL, and I was much better in those. I guess I must have been really rusty. But even though I'm like kind of buns now, I can still pull it off. So I don't see why not any other player could pull it off. And if you don't have alts, I guess you can enjoy the fact that I literally obliterated this game by myself, me and I guess. I don't know. I guess this may as well be aura farming on the boss, because I didn't nerf Cursed. I helped people. Me along with a consensus of the balance team nerf Cursed. So that's why this is dramatically easier on me. Like if it was old MV, I probably wouldn't be able to pull this off unless I had more investments on my alts. I guess the most important thing of a nuke is that you need to apply Dragon's Memoir on the Hexer that goes first, and then apply Hex on the Hexer that goes second. You don't really need a 2 Hex, because if you're trying to lab out a strat, you probably only want to consume 1 Hex. You don't want to rely on Spike Steel Ball RNG. In case you want to use 2 DPS, you will need the 2 Hex Mastery on the Hexer that time, unfortunately. But yeah, and then you can just like head splitter him. I guess I may as well just like throw the other comps where I like one-shot him, and then I'll show up the loot. The loot, I think I earned like 20 echoes, a Vainglorious Locket, and like a Dark Blood Staff in like 4 runs. It's pretty good. And then you can trade 2 echoes for 3 Void Keys, which means you can infinitely farm this over and over again for infinite loots. So most of the Chaos Orbs were from the alt farm runs. I got 4 Chaos Orbs from that. Also, the Echo Shards and the Void Keys, they're all clickbait. My friend sent me those images because he was like a trader, and he like also alt farms the game, but he did it before me, so he's much richer than me. I already spent a few echo shards on some of my builds I'll be showcasing later. So I only have 19 of them right now. I also dropped quite a few Lost Scroll of Metrum's Grass. I dropped about 4 of them actually. And then the loot you actually care about is the Vainglorious Lockets. So how many they get during the 4 keys? I got 2 Vainglorious Lockets during 4 alt farm runs, and those runs took 5 minutes each, which means I get a Vainglorious Locket like every 10 minutes. I mean, if you account for the intermission time, it's probably like 20 minutes. So I get a Vainglorious Locket every 10 minutes if I have my alts. I won't have access to my PC in like a few hours, so I'm not going to be able to farm this. And also, I wouldn't want to farm it because it's just so boring. I can't.